Welcome to the Create with Katrina Julia show by Fit Life Creation, where we talk all the things on wellness, faith, marketing, business, and travel to create a life and business you love. I've been there, friend. I've walked from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, and bondage to freedom, along with transformation in every area of my life. I'm right here with you, walking along on my own path to creating. So tune in so that you learn how to create a life and business you love, hands-on. Let's create it. 2023 books that are changing my life and that will change yours too. You guys, I have always been an avid reader. My mom I remember being about 5, 6 years old, and my mom would come tuck me into bed, and I would have 2, 3, 4 books flipped to where I had last read. And my mom would often laugh and say, "How are you reading 2, 3, 4 books at the same time? Do you even know what's going on in each of them?" And I distinctly remember so many conversations where I would tell her, like, yes, and this one, this, and this is happening, and this one, this, and this is happening. And it's so interesting how my life mirrors that same kind of adventure and creation and excitement in the different books of life that the different areas of life that I juggle or we juggle. And oftentimes, no matter how hard life's, so to speak, still focusing on that faith, still focusing on that drive, that determination, that belief. So we are literally at halftime. As of this recording, it is July 22nd. And when I did this episode on the books I read in 2022, it was really, really popular. So I thought I would do the same now that we're at halftime. And the majority of my books I listen to on Audible because I love to hear them in the voice of the authors, and I love to hear their passion and their purpose and their spirit and energy behind it all. Although I do read some handwritten, so I'll kind of, they're not handwritten, but hardback, paperback, whatever. So I'll mention those. And I am amazed also at the pace because several of these books I have read and reread even this year because I love to re-listen to things because we listen from a different vein as we grow. And then I'm still over 5 books ahead of schedule. I was guesstimating, basically, when I set the goal for this year, I was estimating about 26 books for the year. So basically, on average, even with re-listening to books, an average of about a book every 2 weeks. And I'm already 5 books ahead of schedule. So it's just amazing. And what I do is, like, when I'm waiting in line for something, I listen to books. Or I listen to my own voice in prayer and meditation and affirmations too. That's something else I do. When I'm walking sometimes, when I'm on MARTA, driving, traveling. So I really invite you to challenge yourself because trust me, there's time that you are investing in other things that are not serving you anywhere near as much. So far this year, I've read The Man God Has for You by Stéphane Labossière. And I really, really, really enjoyed it. And I listened to that on Audible. And really, more so, it focuses on your own intention and alignment and healing. And then I'm also going through his book in PDF again for the third or fourth time, The Daily Affirmations of Healing. which he has different prayers and affirmations centered around love, around family, around relationships, around money. So it's great overall. I read a summary of Extreme Ownership, US Navy SEALs, and Lead and Win on the Mentor app, and focused on daily actions that the app was driving for over 90 days. I also read a summary of the abundance code on how to bust your 7 money myths for a rich life now, also on Mentorist app, and paid attention to the prompts basically for 90, 120 plus days. Another one I did on their app as well, a summary, is the professional troublemaker. Anyone else relate? The fear fighter manual. So obviously, I'm sharing completely transparently. Some of these I did not fully read or fully listen to. So it's part of also where and how I am where I am with reading. And some of that I feel is also really intentional, because some books I don't feel or haven't felt drawn to reading the entire thing, or some of them I've read in the past, like The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown, I read in the past. And this time I simply did the summary on the Mentorist app, and then kept revisiting the key action items to truly implement and invite transformation in my life and focus on creating it. And the same with Eat, Move, Sleep. That was also a summary on Mentorist app, because many of you that have been listening know that I transformed 7+ years ago. And a part of my transformation story from that point includes not drinking alcohol for 7+ years, includes losing 55+ pounds. So I feel like I'm really, really still aligned and consistent with eating and moving, but my sleep has been dramatically altered, I feel like, this year, and it's getting back in alignment. But that's one of the reasons why I felt drawn to that summary book. And then also I listened to Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and really, really tuning into alignment, also thinking of faith and feelings and focus, and any type of self sabotage or any type of habits that I have that are apart from being divinely disciplined. And my phrase this year, I talked about in several episodes before, I am divinely disciplined, that was divinely downloaded from our creator, is really, and this always happens with my phrases or my words, that I've been practicing this since about 2015 or 16 or so, is that it's like the opposite of the phrase or the word comes up all year. So I've come to expect it, but it's really, really, really uncomfortable, and has had me face like even deeper issues around worthiness, around identity, around so many different things, and healing and wounds. So I listened to Made for This Moment by Madison Pruitt earlier this year in full on Audible. And I really, really enjoyed hearing about her journey with faith, with The Bachelor, and just so many different things. I think she's a great voice for young women and empowerment and faith. Speaking of faith, also, I did buy the book in paperback, 31 Prayers for My Future Husband, and I've been praying that really, really consistently, and gone through the book now 2 or 3 times this year. As a Man Thinketh, that's a book I regularly revisit. It's super short, by James Allen, and I have it in paperback, and I highly recommend it for so many reasons. And it focuses on literally the thoughts that we think create the life that we have, and really, really identifying and isolating, thoughts. And what I've found, especially in the last 7 years of my life, it's like it tends to go in areas or themes. So 2010 to about 2013 was a lot about faith and purity and value. Then 2013 to 2015, it was like compounding of that, plus wellness and transformation and vision. Then 2015 to about 2020 has been like all of that, plus execution, abundance, healing. 2020 to 22 was all of that, plus freedom and adventure and travel. And then 2022 to now has been all of that, but then increasing stillness and then increasing discipline and execution and priorities. But then, as of this recording, I'm getting ready to travel again full time, without a exact end date and in a really different way than before. And I have several things right now by faith and action, TBD. But at the same time, as of right now, I have a flight to San Antonio for the 27th, but that well, we'll see what happens with that. And then I have a flight reserved with my credits with United for Cancun because I identified, like, I love Mexico. I've explored so many different parts of Mexico, in the journey of traveling to 36 plus countries. And Mexico has so much diversity across the entire country. And this time, as I'm going, I really, really felt drawn to align and identify to a high vibe location with a beach, with close by other water adventures, and to be there consistently. Because I recognized before I picked a lot of destinations that I really didn't necessarily vibe with, that I wanted to explore, but I potentially spent too much time there, or I could have skipped them altogether, like, honestly. Like, Bogota, Colombia, like, I liked it, but I spent, like, 4 weeks there, and it was so cold at night, which definitely affected my spirit. But it was also great things that I liked, but I recognized where the time I spent. And then also, I'm craving more of community, both in the things I'm aligning to and opportunities and creations, like our fitcations and contentcations and retreats and different things that are coming up this year into next year that you'll hear about in just a bit, but also aligning to destinations like Playa del Carmen, that is known for its nomadic, and co-working and communities and so many things. And I went there a couple times when I was in Mexico in 2021. I spent about 3 months in Tulum, a month in Bacalar, but I wasn't as intentional or as focused for seeking community. So that's definitely different now. And then, when we come back, after you hear all about the fit and contentcations, I'm going to talk a lot about Dr. Tony Evans, Jamie Kern Lima, who sold her company, It Cosmetics, to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion in cash. Mark Randolph, the co-founder of Netflix, in his book, That Will Never Work, that I'm listening to now for the second time. And Tamra Andress's book, which I was on her podcast recently on Fit and Faith and Unleashing Divine Downloads, that you can tune into. And her book, Always Becoming, and several others. So stay tuned because it's just getting good. I'm coming in hot with fit and contentcations and retreats, calling all my creators to CEOs, boss babes, and multi-passionate women entrepreneurs. If you are ready to experience the ultimate blend of a getaway or vacation with fitness, creativity, and relaxation, get ready, because our fitcations, contentcations, and retreats are here to take you on a transformational journey. We've got a fitcation coming up September 10th through the 14th in Los Cabos. Join us for an adventure that combines fitness and a vacay like never before. From assessments to meal plans to chef experiences to workouts on the beach and by the pool, and active adventures like our glass bottom boat kayaks. Our fitcations will elevate your well-being and leave you feeling transformed like never before. If that's not enough, or maybe you're looking for more, we've got a contentcation on the heels of the fitcation, September 14th through the 17th in Los Cabos. If you are a content creator and you are looking to fuel your creativity, this is for you. Not only will you be at Instagrammable locations with mastermind workshops with AI, chat GPT, templates and content, creating Instagram reels, scheduling out 15, 30 plus days of content across and during the retreat, you will be blown away. And let's not forget where the retreat is in Los Cabos, with beachside experiences, adventures, city tours. Unleash your imagination, gain incredible perspectives, and take your content creation to new levels to create it like a boss. Last but not least, because maybe you want to spend a lot more time in Los Cabos, we've got a retreat August 31st through September 7th, right before the two vacations, where you can elevate your mind, spirit, body, and soul with our transformative retreat experiences. This retreat combines it all. It combines mindset, wellness, marketing, business, and travel, along with the adventures. Our retreats provide space to relax, rejuvenate, and connect with incredible community. From empowering workshops to all inclusive experiences to immersive activities, you will embark on a journey of self discovery and transformation. Mention the podcast for 10% off when you complete the assessment at the link in bio and or fitlifecreation.com/retreats. And in the link in bio, you can find it via transformational retreats. And if you do any two of the experiences, you get $1,000 off, friends. Yes, $1,000 off. So let's create it on occasion. Welcome back. So as 2023 started as well, and as I was focusing on, I am divinely disciplined, and one of the church that I attend regularly online, Transformation Church, the word for the year is kingdom. And that, of course, aligns with being divinely disciplined. And I felt drawn radically to Dr. Tony Evans' books on kingdom prayer. So I listened and devoured his Audible Kingdom Prayer, Kingdom Woman, and Kingdom Single. So the wisdom from those books is unmatched and unparalleled, and I highly recommend them and highly enjoyed them and hearing them in his voice. And just his approach is so compassionate, is so all encompassing. And I love learning from their entire family. Priscilla Shire, if you've watched the movie War Room, that's his daughter. Anthony Evans Jr., his music is amazing. And just their entire family, Crystal, Jonathan, just so incredible and such an example of a spirit-filled and led family. Then I finished the Bible study in about April, Jude by Jackie Hill Perry, and attended her event, Glory, with several events in Atlanta. I think it was about April, maybe. Yeah, it wasn't May, it was April. And then felt led to listen to Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima, the founder of It Cosmetics, and her story of faith, persistence, perseverance is incredible, with the countless failures and rejections she received from investors, from cosmetic companies, to then explode on CVS. And then the same distributors and retailers that had told her no started banging on her door. And then ultimately, that entire journey of faith, action, and alignment and leaps of faith led to her company being sold to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion in cash and naming her CEO. It's an incredible, incredible book. I cannot wait. Her pre-sales for her book Worthy are out now, but I am avid. I talked to you about it on a recent podcast. I listened to a video on Ed Milet's podcast of featuring her about the pre-launch of the book. I cannot wait till it's on Audible and listening to it in her voice as well. I commented on her Instagram, and either her or her team replied that it will be on Audible, but not yet. And then I connected with Tamra through Elizabeth, through Social Curator Community, through Jasmine Star, that I've been part of the Social Curator monthly community over a year, and got invited to be on her podcast, and so much alignment with our colors, our faith, our vision. Like I created Fit Life Creation. She has Fit and Faith. And so I listened to her book, Always Becoming, and was on her show, and so relate to so many aspects of her testimony, the transparency, the authenticity from her journey as a woman to aspects in wellness, to aspects in purity, so many different things. Then RC Blake's, he has an incredible YouTube channel where he really focuses on empowering women in healing and relationships. It's like a fatherly figure. And I found out about him through Lisa Bilyeu's YouTube channel, and she featured him. And I have listened to so many of his YouTube videos this year, just gaining wisdom, gaining insight, focusing on healing. And I got his book, Queenology, and listened to it twice. And I really, really enjoyed it. And then I'm re listening to That Will Never Work by Mark Randolph, the co founder of Netflix. If you are an entrepreneur, if you have a huge vision for your business, if you're a multi-passionate entrepreneur, I highly recommend you listen to his book. There's so much insight, from personal journey to making time for your family, to the nuances and figuring it out along the way, to the hiccups that they had along the way, from, figuring out mailers for Netflix, to getting an investor like with Reed Hastings, to then, switching out roles, from being the co-founder and president, to then, having Reed become the president, to launching a super catchy promo on Give Your 2 cents on Clinton, to by mistake sending out porns to people and then apologizing. Like, it's such a vibe. And to getting insight on their valuation when they, got funding so many different times, so there's so much wisdom you're going to get from that book. And so, as an entrepreneur, anything that I challenge you to do, I'm sitting here doing it right there with you, and the whole focus of Create It, and and being here to focus on creators and CEOs who crave creating community and cash, and to create it like a boss, in these 600 plus episodes on the show now, 400 plus blog posts, thousands of social media posts, is my intention is to draw like-minded women that take action to create it. And if you choose to get into quote unquote deeper relationships with me and the created community along the way, you see and know there is millions to billions of dollars information that I've given away for free, especially if you choose to create it. And then if you choose to align in deeper relationships, it's, via an online course, via the monthly mastermind, that's simply $100 investment. That's $25 a week. That's 5 cups of Starbucks, or likely 2 lunches in the United States. So that's my always challenge, because I constantly invest in myself, both in free content and invested content and communities. You can check out the 75 plus tools. And then if you want deeper connection, to me and the community, then it goes into things like, our retreats, our vacations, our contentcations, where you get to come away for a couple days or a week, and I'm the leader, or I'm the co-leader, or, later on we'll have other co-leaders along the way. Or you want to be in the fractional CMO program, where you get even closer interaction with me, or the creator to CEO courses that are going to be launched, or the lifestyle mastermind. So you can see where it goes from free to smaller investments. We even have a 7-day challenge for $35. You can find that at fitlifecreation.com/programs. or click the link for the blog post on the link in bio in the show notes in the very first post, and then you can jump on over to the programs or the freebies. There's over 15 webinars, you guys. So, but once again, you can see how much I pour into me. So my level of expectation for the people that I'm praying over and intending and setting an intention to be in the community, like there's clear, like I'm very clear. And also, imagine if you're building your business and you just give away all your time on one-on-ones, on constant conversations. Well, there's no way you're going to be able to create 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 podcasts or emails or all these different things, even as you scale with AI and ChatGPT and VAs like I talk about, like I do. Or you won't have time to pour into yourself. And it's also then setting boundaries that your time is valuable. Like my goal is to be my next level goal. I've reached in the past as being an executive $100,000 plus. And then I've reached brand results of 6 to 8 figures. And then as an entrepreneur, my next goal is 100K to 300K consistently. So then if you divide that out by an average, whatever, 30, 40, 50, 60-hour a week, that tells you, even if you just say $500,000, that's $300 an hour is what my time ends up being worth. And then the next goal, 1 million, that means an hour of my time is $600. So my intention is also to recognize and be aligned to people that fully get that and recognize, hey, she's giving away all this value on this podcast, on these freebies, on this. Let me take the action and let me show that I'm invested and let me invest in something. So that is something I take to heart, and I get it. I'm not for everyone and everyone's not for me, and not everyone's going to understand that. And that's perfectly okay. And part of that is because I also want to live a life of freedom that, hey, I do things in groups and or with brands and or with higher end programs. And that's how I choose to live my life and run my business. Because trust me, when you are at the point, or you've been through points like I have, where yes, you've been at the 6 figures, but then you've also been at the points where you've gotten, debt, or you've taken money, from your family and felt the fear, the shame, the guilt. You start to treat and value yourself and your worth very differently. And you start to get really clear on where and how you give away your time unapologetically. And it's not about being a B, but then it is about being a B, if that makes sense. It's about knowing your worth. So speaking of, the 3 books I am in right now is 2 of them are in process, likely for the rest of the year. So one of them is 100 Days of Believing Bigger by Marshawn Evans. I think I'm on day 20 right now. It's a daily devotional that I'm listening to, and I learned about her from Epic Fab Girl, from Candace Janae. And then I'm about halfway through-ish of the Inner Child Workbook, What to Do with Your Past When It Just Won't Go Away, and it is deep dives into healing. And then the other book I am already halfway through, I was listening to it yesterday, is Believe For It, Passing on Faith to the Next Generation by CeCe Winans. So those are the books in 2023 so far that have been transforming my life. Leave a review on the show. Let me know if you end up reading any of these books. Would love to know. And side note, speaking of books, I have guides as well on Amazon, and books as well as on fitlifecreation.com/guides. I have Bible studies. I have influencer marketing books and several others. Social media, 90-day plan, and some of them are free as well that you can find on freebies, and some of them are paid, full disclaimer. And my influencer marketing book has 5 stars all around. So no matter what, whether you love the show, leave a review on the show. More people learn about it that way. We have 50 plus reviews. Tag me on social at Katrina Julia Fit, at Fit Life Creation, and what action you took to create it. And as always, friends, remember, create, transform, and inspire, because you are born to. All the chats on faith, wellness, money, marketing, business, and travel, so you create a life and business already. Head on over
to the blog, the podcast, and the freebies to jumpstart your transformation. If you're ready to dive into the online courses, the live events, or the retreat, and if you want to create with our community on an even deeper level, definitely check out our internships, our influencer collaborations, management, and brand engagement. Let's create it.